A big one in Pittsburgh today. Steelers reporter Brooke Pryor joins us now. And Brooke, what does it mean for this Steelers defense to get T.J. Watt back for the first time in almost a month?
Well, Amina, it means everything for this defense. On Friday, T.J. Watt was on the field here behind me, practicing as a full participant for the first time since he suffered a partially collapsed lung as a result of a dry needling treatment on December 10th. And he told me afterward that he feels really good, which is something that he couldn't have said a week ago. He also told me he is really excited to play today, and his teammates told me they are really excited to have him back too.
You know, we're going to need all the tools we can get. You know, Baltimore's coming here, and having TJ back definitely stabilizes our group. You know, but we're not just looking to throw him out there and everybody be scared. We need TJ to play TJ ball.
Look, TJ Ball has been a little different this season. Watt hasn't been as productive, only 7 sacks. He hasn't recorded a sack against the Ravens in his last 3 meetings with this team. But Watt has been pretty productive against this team at home. In 8 games in Pittsburgh against the Ravens, Watt has 11.5 sacks.
Yeah, and Watt has missed the last 3 games after surgery to repair that partially collapsed lung on December 11th. The Steelers last won the AFC North back in 2020. They got Aaron Rodgers in the offseason to go all in. So what's the potential fallout for Mike Tomlin and Aaron Rodgers if they lose this game today?
Well, Amina, like the Steelers, control their own destiny and control their path to the playoff if they can win the game tonight. Mike Tomlin and Aaron Rodgers also control their own destiny and, in a lot of ways, the destiny of this franchise. Aaron Rodgers told me this week that he understands what his circumstances are. He's not focused on his future past this week, but he said, look, I'm 42 years old. I signed a 1-year contract. I know what that means. If I want to play, I could have a couple options. And he said that his expectations for the experience in Pittsburgh, everything's been exceeded. And now Mike Tomlin, he has been at this franchise for nearly 2 decades. If he were to walk away, it appears that it would be something on his own terms.
Yeah, Steelers are seeking a 3rd consecutive 10-win season. Brooke Pryor just braving the cold for us. 27 degrees. I don't know what it's going to be tonight, but bundle up, Brooke. Thanks so much for the insight.
Sound like a spring day.
Yeah, it's nice and warm, really. Nice and warm in this studio. Damian Woody is with us now to preview this AFC North showdown. What is the key tonight between the lines here for the Steelers?
I think for me, it's like, where's the passing game going to come from? DK Metcalf obviously suspended, not going to be a part of this game, and he's the one true threat. You know, if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers. So how are they going to manufacture in the passing game? Is it going to be the 2 running backs, Jalen Ward and Kenneth Gainwell? Those guys have actually been, in my opinion, the MVP of the offense. Those are guys have been the only guys on offense that's really sustained and really made plays both in the running and passing game. So it'll be, it'll be interesting to see how both of those guys are utilized in this Pittsburgh Steelers offense.
Gainwell was the one who's voted team MVP by the players. Like, they understand how versatile and how important he is. From a Baltimore side of things, you get Lamar back. What's the key for the Ravens tonight?
Man, this is the whole thing about Derrick Henry. Like, don't make this thing complicated at all. Even though you get Lamar Jackson back, it's all about Derrick Henry. I don't care if you have to give him the ball 30, 35, 40 times in this game.
Yeah.
You continue to run that beast of a player and ride that train all the way to the playoffs, because that, to me, is the guy that's going to set the tempo for the Baltimore Ravens.
The video that we're showing you right here, the 4-touchdown performance against the Packers, 200-plus yards. He had 36 carries.
Correct.
That was not only the most this season, that's a career high. That's the most he was at Alabama facing Clemson in that CFP National Championship game. Can he do it twice? Well, at this age of his career.
Well, like Bill Parcells said one time, that's why you lift all them weights. That's why you train in the offseason. And Derrick Henry is one of the best to do it. So in a game like this, man, just give him the rock, baby.
It shows what I know. You're like, that's why I lift all those weights. And I'm like, yeah. like biceps does anything for a running back. Damian Woody, appreciate you, sir. Thank you. Just get those. All comes down to that for the Steelers and the Ravens. And our Ravens reporter, Jamison Hensley, joining us now from Pittsburgh ahead of this one. Jamison, Lamar Jackson will be back for Baltimore after sustaining that back injury a couple weeks ago against the Patriots. How do the Ravens expect to use him today?
Yeah, Randy, Lamar Jackson is full go, and he wasn't even listed on the Ravens injury report. This marked the first time in 2 months that Jackson has participated in every practice in a week. And Ravens offensive coordinator Todd Monken told me this is the closest that Jackson has been to full strength since early November. Now, Jackson did say that he expects to wear a flak jacket or extra padding to protect that back contusion, but he doesn't believe that will affect his play at all. Now, Lamar Jackson is looking to win his 5th AFC North title, and he must do so in Pittsburgh, where he is 1-3 for his career. Now, Marlon Humphrey, the Ravens cornerback, told me that the Steelers have been a knife in the side of the Ravens, especially Lamar Jackson, and he believes Lamar will be more than ready to go.
You don't want to think about this? Certainly the Ravens don't want to think about this, but what is, Jameson, the potential fallout for both coach and quarterback here if Pittsburgh does continue its dominance in Baltimore?
Yeah, Randy, being inside that Ravens facility and inside that locker room all week, it would be surprising if the Ravens made any major change at quarterback or head coach. And Jackson addressed his future this week when he was asked, "Do you want to remain in Baltimore?" And Jackson replied by saying, "Absolutely." And he said absolutely 4 times. Now, as far as Ravens coach John Harbaugh, cornerback Marlon Humphrey came out and voiced his support of his coach, saying Harbaugh's positivity has made a major impact on this team. And Harbaugh, he was asked about his job security for a 2nd straight week. Now, this time, Harbaugh quoted tennis Hall of Famer Billie Jean King by saying, "Pressure is a privilege."
All right. Well, with a win, Baltimore can clinch the AFC North title and a playoff berth after starting the season 1-5. That's Jameson Hensley with the latest on the Ravens from Pittsburgh. Thank you, sir.
Coach Herm Edwards back here with us. Lamar Jackson healthy for this matchup. How does he find success against this Pittsburgh team?
Well, it's got to be Action Jackson, Lamar Jackson. When you think about what he's able to do, especially when he can extend the play. Lamar Jackson's going to have to run, to be quite honest. It's not about just Derrick Henry running. It's Lamar Jackson doing this. Being Lamar, he's healthy. He understands this is to get into the playoffs. This is a playoff game.
Yeah.
So he has to extend plays. When he can do this, it's troublesome for a defense. Now it makes it 11-on-11. Lamar Jackson has to make some plays off schedule if the Ravens are going to win this game.
Yeah, and on the other side of this matchup, Pittsburgh coming off of a loss to the Browns where they scored just 6 points. What concerns do you have about the Steelers going into this matchup?
I was concerned about their receivers. DK Metcalf did not play last week. You saw Aaron Rodgers trying to throw the ball down the field. Receivers couldn't get open.
Right.
That's the problem. And they're going to copy the same formula that hurt the Steelers last week. We're going to cover these guys like the Cleveland Browns did. We're going to play press coverage. They can't get away from us. And you got a problem. So Aaron Rodgers was brought to Pittsburgh for this.
Yep.
To win games like this. Aaron Rodgers has been an MVP. He's played a lot of big games, but these receivers have to find a way to get open.
Yeah, winner take all for the AFC North. A lot on the line between the Steelers and the Ravens in this one. Everyone has to be watching this one.
Yeah, because I tell you what, next week, whoever loses this game will be like us. They'll be on television watching.
Not be on television.
Sitting at home.
Coach Herm Edwards,
Just
the
saying.
latest. Thanks so much, Coach. South comes down to one game today between the Saints and the Falcons. If the Falcons win, it'll be the Panthers going to their first postseason since 2017. If the Saints get the win or tie, then the Bucs will get their 5th consecutive division title.
And then in the AFC, Patriots could wind up the top seed in that conference, but the talk this week has been the legal troubles for 2 of their top players. Receiver Stephon Diggs facing a felony charge of strangulation and a misdemeanor charge of assault for an alleged incident that took place last month. Meanwhile, defensive tackle Christian Barmore was charged in December with misdemeanor assault and battery on a household family member for an alleged August incident. Dan Graziano now joining us from Foxborough ahead of this one, Dolphins and Patriots. Dan, how has this affected the Pats' preparation for today's game?
Not very much, Randy, honestly. These are incidents from what I've been told that the team was aware of for a while prior to this week. So when the news did break, head coach Mike Vrabel addressed his team about it. He gave them 2 points. One, expect a little more media attention this week. I'm told there are about 5 to 10 more media members present at Patriots practice after this news broke. And number 2 was speak for yourself, not for those guys. Diggs and Barmore addressed the media on Friday. And in the meantime, players along the way were basically preparing as if it was a regular game. Vrabel giving them all kinds of stats about how good the record is of teams in the playoffs that win their final game. They've been preparing for this game and trying to make sure they're in the best possible headspace. But in terms of practice, Diggs and Barmore did not miss any practice time. Diggs broke down the team, the huddle at the end of one of the practices. So it was really a lot of business as usual when it came to the work on the field in the meeting rooms here in Foxborough this week.
Yeah, and both Diggs and Barmore are expected to play in today's game versus the Dolphins. So let's talk about the Dolphins. Yep. What are you hearing about Mike McDaniel's future beyond this season?
I think it's one of these murky situations that we're watching. Amina, the GM of the team, was fired midway through the season, so that always brings some level of uncertainty. A couple of the Dolphins players I talked to this week talked about, managing through the second half of the season with that cloud of uncertainty hanging over them. Dolphins ownership is going to get together and make a decision once this season is over, which is, several hours from now, and make a decision on whether they want to move forward with Mike McDaniel as head coach or whether they want to replace coach and general manager. Obviously, given the record the last couple of years, it's a situation worth watching. I don't get the sense that any decision has been made. But yes, I think as we head into this week, when those kinds of changes start to be discussed and start to happen, the Dolphins are a spot to watch.
Yeah, the Dolphins are trying to avoid a 10-loss season for the first time since going 5-11 in 2019. Dan Graziano with the latest. Thanks so much, Dan.